Distinguished guests, the Chief of Army of the United States Ambassador Robert Brown.
Well, good evening, Mr. President. It's such an honor to be here with you tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the Cabinet, distinguished guests, I am Ambassador Monica Crowley, Chief of Protocol of the United States, and it's my distinct honor to welcome all of you to the State Department to celebrate the extraordinary talent, vision, and artistic achievements of the fantastic 48 Kennedy Center honorees, living legends, all of you. We gather tonight in the magnificent Benjamin Franklin Room, which is one of our most distinctive venues for diplomatic and ceremonial events. And we are so delighted tonight to share it all here with you on this very special occasion. We have a terrific program for you, so just please relax, enjoy the show. And it is now my honor to welcome to the stage our spectacular Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, and our fantastic President of the Kennedy Center, Ambassador Rick Reynolds.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President. Welcome to the State Department. We love to have you here in this beautiful ballroom, and we're very excited about it. Of course, it's not nearly as big as one we're going to have in about a year and a half in the country. But thank you for being here tonight. And it's an extraordinary honor to be here with all of you, to welcome you here to this room and to this place. One of the great American exports is our culture and our talent. It inspires the world. Honorees 5, when you include a group as well who have been such internationally given America such prominence. They have represented our country well. It is one of the great things that we have done. It's one of the things that people don't talk about enough. They call it soft power. But what it really means is the influence of our culture and the influence of our talented people and how it inspires people around the world. In many cases, the first thing that people learn about our country is through our culture, through our entertainment, be it our movies or our television or our music or our musicals or our bands or our actors. And so we are grateful and honored to be able to host this event tonight on the eve of tomorrow's ceremonies and tomorrow's celebration of this incredible American talent, and to partner, as has been done for many years, with the Kennedy Center, which is under extraordinary new leadership. You guys are doing a phenomenal job, both in fundraising. And it's something the President, as Ambassador Garnell will tell you shortly, has really made a priority. And that is to restore it to a place of greatness, where the beauty of American culture, where things that are exhibited to the world, and obviously here in the city as well. So it's my honor now to turn it over to Ambassador Garnell, who will tell you more about all the exciting things that are happening at the Kennedy Center. So thank you so much for being here tonight, and thank you for the opportunity to host this. Thank you.
Secretary Rubio, Marco, my friend, thank you so much for this occasion. We're ecstatic to be here. It is true that President Trump not only helped the Kennedy Center, but I have to tell you, he saved the Kennedy Center. From the moment I arrived and the finances were a mess, despite whatever the media says, I promise you, we had no money in the bank. We were paying staff with debt reserves. It was awful. And on top of that, the deferred maintenance was criminal over the years. I brought President Trump over. I showed him. He's an expert on building, if you don't know that. And immediately said, what do you think? What are we supposed to do with this? Are we supposed to pour more money into this? And I said, sir, I gotta be honest with you. Our engineers, our building people have said, this is so far past, we need to tear it down and start over. And the president said, nah, I can give you some money. And he went, he left the Kennedy Center. By the time he got back to the White House, he had called Lindsey Graham and Russ Voigt, and he said, I'm going to give $250 million to save the Kennedy Center, and it's going to be in the big, beautiful bill. And that's exactly what he did. He delivered, and he saved the Kennedy Center. It's never a big story when things are neglected, but the Kennedy Center was neglected. It needs to be a place of bipartisanship. It needs to be a place that we come together and we celebrate together, and we don't care who you voted for president. You sit, you watch amazing shows like Les Mis. We have totally turned the place around because President Trump said from the beginning, change the programming to common sense programming that everybody wants, and corporations will come. Mr. President, it's exactly what happened, and I'm here to tell you, we have the biggest haul we've ever made for the Kennedy Center honors. We just brought in $23 million for the Kennedy Center honors tomorrow night. That is almost double what they did last year, and that is all because people want to come. President Trump makes it a priority, and he is the one who gave us the vision to change the programming, raise the money, bring in the corporate dollars. Now, I have to be honest with you, I'm really thankful that Delta, Boeing, and CBS are here because you are our top donors. Thank you for all of your work. And let me finish by saying also, Tiffany's, thank you very much for redesigning our Kennedy Center honors. And if you haven't seen them yet, you're about to. They're spectacular. And this is the first year that Tiffany's decided to step in. And we want to thank Tiffany's for the beautiful medals, awards that they have given us. So thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. What a great group this is. Your team is doing very well, Bob. Good quarterback, good coach. It always helps. Having a good coach and a good quarterback is a very good thing, historically. I want to thank Secretary Marco Rubio, my friend and a very talented man who works very hard, and his wonderful wife, Jeanette, for hosting us this evening. As we celebrate the 2025 Kennedy Center's honorees, and they are great honorees. Sylvester Stallone. He got stuck in traffic, but he made it. He wasn't going to miss this. We heard he was walking up. I said, okay, now we can start. You look great. Thank you both very much. Jennifer, thank you very much. George Strait. King of Country. That's great. Gloria Gaynor. Fantastic. You look so well. Thank you very much, Gloria. The legendary Michael Crawford. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. That's some job. Thank you very much, Mrs. Crawford, for being here with your two beautiful daughters. Really an honor to have you. I don't want to say how many times I've seen you in Phantom. But, you know, when you have a great artist, it's true with paintings, it's true with music, it's true with dance. Every time you see it, it gets better. and you see things you've never seen before, but I've seen you many times, and there's never been anybody like you. Thank you very much, Michael. Congratulations. And the truly legendary rock band Kiss. Thank you, fellas. Thank you. Thank you very much. And this is really much, really look at it, pure talent, a lot of talent, as has ever been assembled under one roof. We've done something that they've never done before, and I'll be doing something that hasn't been done before. The President of the United States is hosting at the request of a certain television network. And I'm doing it because I feel it's very important that we all get out and do something, and if that can make a difference, that's tremendous. But we have such wonderful people, and I don't mind doing it. But these are some of the greatest of all time, and congratulations to all of you, and thank you very much to Tiffany and Company. They've really done a beautiful job with the medals. And I want to thank you, beautiful families, every one of you. You brought large numbers of your families here, and we appreciate that. And they appreciate you, I can tell you. A very special thanks as well to our terrific Kennedy Center Board of Trustees, along with Executive Director Rick Grinnell. The Board of Trustees has been amazing. It's got to be the hottest board, or I don't know, the Supreme Court is pretty hot. I would say the Supreme Court, the U.S. Senate, the NFL Owners Committee, I think that's pretty good too. But I think the board of the Kennedy Center is turning out to be, we have so many people that want to get on. I have so many enemies now because they want to be on the board, and instead of saying you can't have it, can't get any more. But Rick, you've been fantastic, and Ambassador Sergio Gore is now going to India. Good luck. May never see you again. 1.5 billion people. Think of that. 1.5 billion. Can you handle that, Sergio? I think you can. You can handle anything. But you're going to be dealing with a very special leader, as you know, a friend of mine, and you're going to do very well. He's very happy that you're going to be the ambassador, so good luck. You're going to be making your journey in 2 weeks. Good luck. I may never see him again. It's so sad. Also, I want to thank Secretaries Howard Lutnick, Doug Burgum, FCC Chairman Brendan Carr, my daughter Tiffany and her wonderful husband Michael, and so many other distinguished guests. We have so many people here, senators, we have other secretaries, and I'm just seeing some of you in the crowd. You are a good-looking crowd. I also want to thank everyone here tonight who's so generously supported our effort to restore and revitalize the Kennedy Center. It was in rough shape to a lesser extent, but the White House was in rough shape. You know, we're bringing the White House back room by room, and they sort of laugh when they say, well, the Lincoln bedroom, we had to fix it up. It wasn't looking too good. We fixed it up, leaving it the way it was, but fixed up. It's in tippy-top shape. You know, I always used to say, tippy, it's got to be tippy-top. But you had a lot of other presidents that weren't into that. I've always been into it. The Oval Office has reached a new level. The Cabinet Room, everyone wants to see the Cabinet Room, and it's so beautiful now. We took some of the paintings that were downstairs in vaults. They have big vaults. They have 2,000 paintings, over 2,000. We have great curators, 7 of them, and they love the place. Some of them have been there for 40 years, and if they don't like you, you don't get the painting you want. You don't get the Declaration of Independence brought up into the Oval Office. A couple of other presidents suffered without it because they said, not going to be able to do it. But they've been great. But we have tremendous artwork being brought up and has been brought up from the vault. So it was sitting for 100 years, 150 years downstairs under the White House, and now we have it on walls throughout the building. Those walls, before we put them up, we make sure those walls are in perfect shape. I say, you got to make sure these walls are up before you do anything. And we've done a lot of work. We've redone great marble floors that were beat to hell. We've done not good floors that were out of 1-by-1 boxes from certain stores that are not very good. They shouldn't be there. Those floors should not have been there. and we've replaced them with the most beautiful marble, statuary marble. They call it in Italy statuario, great white and black marble that forms Greece and big parts of Italy. And Italy, during a time when Italy was extremely strong, and Greece, when Greece was Greece, and they had that, and we now have that in the White House, replacing one by one tiles that were not good. But we've fixed the White House, and we've fixed the Kennedy Center. The Kennedy Center has some work to be done. We've worked very hard on it, actually. I spent a lot of time there with contractors. I mean, I go around, I have two jobs. I have a construction job, which is really like relaxation for me, because I've been doing it all my life. But we're fixing the Kennedy. I said, you need a new roof. They said, sir, there's a lot of water coming down. You know, they didn't know. You need a new roof. It's been there for like 45, 50 years. And we're doing everything. We're doing brand new air conditioning. Carrier's been so incredible. They made a donation, a big donation on the ballroom. We were bidding out the ballroom, and Carrier came along, and they said, sir, we'd like to contribute the air conditioning for the ballroom. It was like $17 million. It's a lot of air conditioning and heating. And a great steel company came along and said, sir, we'd like to contribute the steel. It's a big steel, it's a big account. And we had Caterpillar Tractor come along and said, sir, we'd like to contribute all of the tractors, all of the excavation equipment, and all of the lifts and generators and everything else you have in the ballroom, because it's a lot of very complex equipment that you wouldn't think of. So I want to thank Caterpillar and others. Others are going to be made public, but they've really been very gracious, and we're having the same thing happen at the Kennedy Center. They view it as a very important thing, and we have marble experts, some of the greatest marble people anywhere in the world, and they're taking this marble that was in such bad shape that everyone said, we have to rip it down, we have to take it down. No, the marble is great, big, beautiful slabs. You don't get them like that anymore, it's very hard. Giant, they call them the giant slabs, they don't make them. But with tender, loving care, and I always say, remember, if you take 1/100th of an inch off the top of the marble, you have brand new marble. People don't know that. They see the marble and they say, oh, the marble's stained or the marble's gone. I say, no, no. If you go just a little bit, if you take just a little bit of that skin off and you get it down, it's called grinding, you grind it down just 1/100th of an inch, you have a brand new slab of marble. And you've saved a little money, to put it mildly, like millions. The marble job was going to cost $59 million. They thought we had to take all the marble off the building and replace the marble with new marble. It was going to cost we had prices from 59 to 75 million. I think I'm going to spend $1 million to have it made beautiful. And what you replace it with was not nearly as good as what we already have. So it's sort of, I don't know, I like to tell you those little construction, because we talk politics all the time, and I like politics too. I said to somebody the other day, am I a better politician or construction real estate person? And they didn't know how to answer that question. I'm not sure how to answer it either, if you want to know the truth. But I actually get great relaxation out of fixing the White House, and fixing the Kennedy Center, and it takes a little time, but not really, because it's time that some people want to rest. I don't really want to rest. I want to do things, and to me, it relaxes me. It's almost like, it's really almost better than resting. And we're bringing these places of great distinction, we're bringing them back, and the Kennedy Center is going to be incredible. Within 10 months, I mean, you're going to see, we've already done tremendous amounts of work, but within 10 months, you're going to see something that you'll really be amazed at. You know, one of the things with the Kennedy Center, because this is really honoring that tonight, but the sound is great. And if you don't have good sound, Lincoln, I don't want to say anything bad about Lincoln Center, but they've had a lot of problems over the years with sound. A lot of you, some of you on that board, you're here tonight. There's a very distinguished board also. But as you know, they have at Lincoln Center, they have a sound problem, and they've rebuilt one of their great buildings because the sound was always bad, and they can't get it right. They can't get it right. It's a very hard thing to do. There's a little luck to that. You know, you have to be a little bit lucky. And some of the greatest opera houses in the world in Europe were built 200 years ago, 300 years ago. And they had no sound engineers in those days, but they did have a lot of marble and stone. And marble and stone make really for great sound. I see we have Gloria, we have Kiz, we have George Strait, we have, think of it, we have the great Michael Crawford, and they know what I'm talking about probably better than anybody else in the whole world. But it's, sound is a big deal, and if you don't have it in a building, you pretty much never have it. They rebuild it, they spend millions and millions of dollars, they take it apart, they put up new walls, they put up new seats, they put up new everything, and they open it up, and it's a disaster. And the one thing with Kennedy Center, they have great sound. They've always been known to have great sound. And we're putting up large slabs of marble in a couple of the great halls. And it's already, we did some testing. It's made it, as good as it is, it's made it even better. Marble can do that. So we've reviewed everything you have to review and reversed the decline of this cherished institution. And the Kennedy Center was really, boy, the money they spent over the years. They spent so much money, and you couldn't see where the money was spent. We're still trying to find out, where did they spend all that money? But they didn't know what they were doing, and it's a shame. And we almost lost that building. That building was very close, structurally and every other way. We've totally reversed it, and now it's going to be in great shape for another, literally for 100 years. It's going to be in great shape. It's going to be in better shape than ever before. So we've done a real job. We've secured historic funding for the Kennedy Center, and we got that in the great big beautiful bill. That's a bill that everybody said was impossible to get passed. They said, you can't do it, it's too big. It was supposed to be 17 bills. I said, let's put it in one, because the Democrats are absolutely crazy, and I have some Democrat friends here, but they're crazy. And they might have approved a couple of them, but most of them they wouldn't. I said, if we put it all in one, there's something for everybody. And we got it approved with a pretty small majority. We have the majority, a pretty small majority. We got it approved. And we got some support. We got a little support from some of the rational Democrats. But one of the things we were able to do is help very much the Kennedy Center. We got so many other things. Our largest tax cuts in history. No tax on, think of this, tips. No, for the workers, no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security for our great seniors, no tax on overtime. Nobody thought that was possible. You're allowed if you buy a car. These people don't know about buying cars, because you buy cars probably, you're not going to have to borrow a lot of money, the group in this room. But you know what? Middle income people, they never had this before. If you go out and borrow money, which almost everyone does to buy a car, you're now allowed to deduct the interest for income tax purposes. Never happened before. It's a great thing. We have so many things in the great big beautiful bill, but one of the things we have is we're going to rebuild our city, Washington, D.C. We now have one of the safest cities in the country. It was a horror show when I came here. A year and a half ago, this city was so dangerous. A year ago, it was so dangerous. We've been there 10 months, and now we're setting records for safety. We've had virtually no crime. We had terrorism 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, horrible terrorism. But it sounds like we were doing so well that the terrorists felt they didn't want to see us do very well. But we have right now the safest capital. We have as safe a capital as anywhere in the world, and we had one of the most unsafe capitals in the world. Thank you. And I walk through the White House and I'll see especially young women say, sir, thank you very much. And I know immediately what they're saying. They're not thanking me for the 8 wars that we've stopped. They're not thanking me for even the tax cuts or any of the other things we've done. They're thanking me because they can actually walk to the White House. They feel safe now in the city, and they are. I want to thank our National Guard. They've been unbelievable, the National Guard. And Christy and Tom Homan and all the people that work so hard on that. And as you probably noticed, we just went into New Orleans. And we went into Memphis, Tennessee. We went in a light way because we have a lot of opposition there with these people. They want to have crime. I mean, it's the craziest thing, Chicago. But we brought down crime and just given it a little dose of what we do really well. But we'll, at some point, just go in and do it exactly the way we want. We won't have any crime, and we'll have very little crime in Chicago, almost none. And we'll stop it everywhere. We do stop it everywhere. And we had a governor, a very good governor from Louisiana, Jeff Landry, just called and he said, please do me a favor, would you send the troops into New Orleans? It's really gotten bad. I said, we'll do it. We just sent them in, and within about 3 days, everyone said it's like a different place. And he's a smart governor. And some of the governors, you'd be surprised at some of the ones that are calling, but we're stopping crime. I said we were going to, during the campaign, we're going to stop crime. Nobody knew we were going to stop it to this extent. Nobody knew we were going to have a border where in 6 months, not one person came into our country illegally. Think of that. We went from the worst border where millions and millions, 25 million people over the course of the 4 years came into our country, many from prisons and gang members, drug dealers, mental institutions. They came into our country, getting them out, have to get them out. Murderers, we have 11,888 murderers. Many of them are now either out or in jail because they'll murder again. More than 50% of those people murdered more than one person. But we took a very strong stand, and people are really liking it. And by the way, drugs coming into our country by sea, down 94%. Okay, down 94%. And I'm trying to figure out who the other 6% is, because frankly, I think they are the most, they gotta be the bravest people. Who are the 6% that are still trying to come in, but down 94%. And we're going to start that same process on land, because we know every route, we know every house, we know where they live, we know everything about them. They killed 300,000 people last year. And that's like a war. That's like a terrible war. Not going to let it happen. So we're doing a job that nobody else can do, but we're building this institution back to what it should be, and the nation's premier venue for the arts. And we're going to see that because DC is now a safe place. People want to be here. The restaurants are opening. You know, if you go back a year, nobody wanted to go to restaurants. They lost 40% of their restaurants. They closed. They had no business. And the restaurants that were open were doing no business. And people felt safe, unsafe, even sitting, waiting for a meal. People would come in and do bad things. We don't have that anymore, and now restaurants are open. You can't even get into a restaurant now in Washington, D.C. It's a beautiful thing to watch, and we're showcasing our country, and we're always going to have it, because the capital of the United States of America has to be a safe and beautiful place, and we're fixing it. We're fixing the roads. We're removing the graffiti, one of the most beautiful marble you've ever seen. We're removing granite. I like granite better on the outside because it's real easy, but the marble is very porous. During the Biden administration, they sprayed a lot of red paint on a lot of white marble, and you still see it, you know. They worked real hard to get it off, but it goes down deep. It's a disgrace what they were allowed to do. It was also a disgrace that they allowed millions of people into our country illegally, and people that were not people that we want to have. They weren't people that could love our country. We want people coming into our country that can love our country. So the generosity of so many outstanding donors, and Rick mentioned some of them, but we've had so many people that just are so generous. It's been really incredible. And as you know, this is America's 250th anniversary. So we have all of these people, and next year is right around the corner, and that's going to be big. Then we have the World Cup coming, and we have the Olympics coming. And you know, I got the Olympics and I got the World Cup. I cannot take credit for getting 250 years. That was just, we sort of lucked out. I tried to do that, but it didn't work. It lucked out, but the 250 is going to be incredible. In fact, we're having, on June 14th, we're having a fight. All of the greatest champions in the world, the UFC fight, they're building an arena in front of the White House, if you can believe it. Then like 6,000 seats, and then they're going to build it for the fight. They're going to have the greatest champions of the world coming, and they're going to have over 100,000 people out. They're putting screens all over certain parts of Washington so everyone can see it. I don't think there'll be anything like it. It'll be on a Sunday night, June 14th. Flag Day happens to be my birthday, but I didn't do it for that reason. Sir, we like the June 14th date. I said, you know, it's my birthday. They didn't know it, but they picked it. But it's, I'll take a little heat on that, but it's not that. But I will tell you, that's going to be some. Everyone's asking me for tickets for the UFC. But it's going to be great. They're going to have the greatest champions in the world all fighting that night. The great Dana White does a great job, and he wanted to do it. And the White House will be the background of the fight. There'll never be anything like this There has never been, and there never will be, anything like that. But a few hours ago, I had the tremendous privilege of presenting the 2025 Kennedy Center honorees with their medallions, their beautiful medallions from Tiffany, right in the Oval Office. And we thought we'd do it here, we thought we'd do it at different places, and maybe pick the one that we like the best. And we said, no, that hit so well, and the Oval Office, right, Michael? The Oval Office, he said it. I've never seen anything like this. There's something about the Oval Office that's special. It's really just special. Even in its poorer state, it was still the Oval Office, and we appreciate it, and we have great respect. So many things happened in the Oval Office, and they got to see the beautiful cabinet room, which we've brought back to life like it should be. Beautiful. It's a beautiful room, and it's really a beautiful room once again. Actually, more beautiful than it ever was. It was never like this. But the American people are proud of our country. We're proud of our beautiful White House, and we're proud of our beautiful Kennedy Center. And now you have it at the top of the line. The lives they've led, these wonderful people that are here tonight, the legacies that they forged have become integral part of Americans' priceless cultural heritage. All of the people that we honor tonight are such beautiful words. I mean, you're priceless. It's a cultural heritage that you've created, each of you in a very different way, most of you in a very different form, catering to different people, frankly. But you add it up and it's 100% of our population. Each of them has given us treasures that will be passed down every future generation. And I don't think you even appreciate what you've done. I don't think you really appreciate your greatness. Decades and even centuries from now, people will still watch and admire the films of Sylvester Stallone. There's nobody else can do those. Nobody can do it. You know, when he started Rocky, he had no money at all, and he had nothing. He had a car that barely could, he left New York, I think a place called Brooklyn, right, son? Brooklyn? Good place, a lot of good people come out of Brooklyn, but he got that car to just get him there, and he stayed in his car, and he slept, and he wrote this script called Rocky, along with about 28,000 other people. Everybody writes a boxing script, right? But for some reason, they loved it. And Sly didn't have 10 cents, had nothing. And they offered him, like, a lot of money. They offered him, I think, $500,000, some number that he never even thought was even possible. And he said, no, I don't want it. I want to make sure that you're casting the right person to play the role. And they said, well, we have stars. And they brought in stars. But the stars didn't have good bodies. They were flabby. They were not really boxers. And Sly would look at some of these guys, big names. He was intimidated in one way, but in the other way, he said, that guy can't play the role. And we won't say the names of the people, but they're really top actors. And for some reason, here's a guy that had no contacts, no anything, but they loved this. One studio in particular loved this script. And they were going crazy over it. And they brought in the top people, and Sly said, let me see your box. And they just have a guy, and so he can't play the role. He had a lot of flab around the upper chest area. It's supposed to be solid like a rock. And then they brought in another one. And finally they looked at Sly and they said, oh man, you're in good shape. You think you could play the role? He said, I'll play the role. I'm not going to let somebody else play it. And he was actually willing. He thought they'd have somebody, but he said, that's not a boxer. That's not a fighter. These are good movie stars. Keep their shirt on, but they're good movie stars. But they're not fighters, right? And he took that role, and the rest is history. The rest is history. But think of it, how many people would turn down, a tremendous, enough money, he probably thought he could live for the rest of his life. He probably could have if he had to. But who would turn down that kind of money? And he did it. He didn't want to have anything to do with it. He wanted it to be right. And who would then think of it as, isn't it just about the largest grossing movie? It's like, there's never been anything like it. Rocky, the whole Rocky series, it's been incredible. And then you had a little thing called Rambo. I loved Rambo, Sly, I'll tell you. I loved Rambo. I got to watch Rambo one time. I said, I wonder what this is all about. I went to a movie theater a long time ago when I used to go to movie theaters. I'd like to go again. I loved them. I loved the popcorn. And it was Rambo. I knew nothing about it, but I liked Sly. So I said, let's go see it. After about 4 minutes, they said, this movie is great. Rambo, I think Rambo gave Rocky a little run, too, if you want to know the truth. Loved it. We loved all of them. But really a legend, and each of the people that are being honored, they're treasures that really will be passed down to future generations, decades and centuries from now. People are going to be looking at your work. They're going to be seeing every one of you. Your work is so incredible. And they'll be thrilling to the performances of Sly and the performances, it's all on tape, of the great Michael Crawford and Phantom. It's all on tape, you know, thank goodness for tape. Because if you couldn't see him, if you would miss that, if you wouldn't see Michael Crawford, the way he moved, the voice was magnificent, but the way he moved and the hands, the whole thing, it's just, there'll never be anything like it. But we have it on tape from every different angle, so guess what? You're lucky. There are a lot of great people that they've never been preserved that way, but you've been preserved. And people are going to be looking, people are going to be watching that and comparing in other plays and in other forms and other venues. They're going to be looking and comparing others to you, and I don't think they're ever going to find anybody like you, Michael, okay? I know something about that business. I don't think they'll find anybody like you. The look, the movement, the whole deal, and then the voice, right? The voice, that beautiful voice. And they'll still know the unforgettable songs of George and Gloria and Paul, Gene, Peter, and the late, great Ace Frehley, who's represented by his daughter, and she was crying like so, she was crying. And all that meant to me is one thing, she loved her father, right? She loved her father. And the guys loved him. You know, that band has stuck together for a long time. I've known a lot of bands, and they don't last too long. They're gone, much to the detriment of themselves, actually. But these guys get along, and I was watching. I love to watch people. And I was watching them, and they really respect each other, and they like each other. I just congratulate you. What a job. What a job you've done. What a great job. Thank you all. I've known Gene for a long time, and I've known the others for shorter periods of time, but they're real talent. And tonight they're really appreciated. The world has seen it, and the world is now watching. They're watching. The whole world is watching this. So thank you very much. On the film sets, Broadway stages, and in sold-out arenas around the globe, these exceptional individuals have spent their lives making the most of their incredible God-given talents. They have talent. They have talent. The great Gary Player, he hits shots. He's 90 years old, still plays good. He shot a 70 with me the other day. He's 90. We're playing pretty far back, too. He's incredible. You think Biden could do that? I don't think so. Can't lift the club. But Gary was demonstrating shots, and one guy was having a very hard time, couldn't get out of a sand trap. Gary's known as the greatest sand player, #1 ever. He got down in the U.S. Opens, 2 U.S. Opens back-to-back. He got down 69 out of 71 times. I would say that's good. Even if you don't know anything about golf, you'd have to say that's good. But he got down, and this poor man I was with, he was blessed with talent, but not golf talent. And he cannot get out of a trap. It was sad to watch. And Gary says, you don't understand. And he dropped 5 balls. Ping, 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 ping. Every ball right next to the hole. This guy, And he tried it. He hit the ball a foot. He hit the next one over the green like by 50 yards. The whole thing was a disaster. He said, well, here's the problem. I've got talent, and you don't. And that's what's true about you. You have talent. These 5 groups and people, they have great talent. And if you don't have talent, to be honest with you, there's not a damn thing you can do. You can get a little better. But if you don't have talent, there's not a damn thing you can do about it. All you can do is try and find something else where you do have talent. But I just want to thank that, you shared these gifts, because you're really sharing a great gift with the world. And maybe tonight, more so than any time in your career, you've shared tonight. Because tonight, the whole world is focused on you. I want to celebrate all of this together. Tomorrow, we pay tribute to them magnificently, and they're going to see something really special, and it's so great to have this at the Kennedy Center. I want to thank as you know, FIFA, for the award they gave me, but more importantly for choosing the Kennedy Center. We had over 1 billion people watching they were choosing the teams, which team is playing the next team, and you can imagine the thrill. But Johnny, who's the commissioner, he's a fantastic guy. I guess you have to say he's like the biggest guy in sports, Bob. He's big. He's saying we have 58 Super Bowls. I don't know if that's true, but let's say we have a few of them. But they have a lot of matches, and it's all taking place here. You know, don't forget, when I made that deal during my first term, and then I made the deal for the Olympics. And I said, man, it's so bad because they were made 6 years away. So I said, I won't be president. And then I got screwed, and they said, let's do it again, and I did it again. We did great the second time, unbelievable. We won by a lot, but the third time, we won by 10 million votes. But it was a COVID year, a lot of things happened, and you know, a very crooked election, a lot of crooked people. But I said, we got to do it again. That's why we never give up. These people have never given up. They don't give up. Bob Kraft never gave up. Did you ever give up? Bob Kraft, did you ever give up, Bob? Look at him. He had a lousy team last year. He didn't know what that meant. And now he's leading the NFL again. I'm sure your other owners are extremely happy for you, though, Bob. They're thrilled. They're just thrilled. But no, people don't give up. The real winners need the talent, but don't ever give up. But as chairman of the Kennedy Center, as president of the United States, and as a true fan of each of these incredible celebrities, but great performers, much more than a celebrity. You're much more than a celebrity. It gives me tremendous pleasure to congratulate them once again and say thank you for your incredible career. Thank you for gracing us with this wisdom and this genius that you have. It's what it is, every one of them. And the First Lady, who you saw yesterday and you're going to see again tomorrow, we're going to be having a good time. She congratulates everybody. She's focused on Christmas decorations at the White House, where she's done a great job. And actually, the press has treated us very good. The first year, the trees were white and beautiful, and the media said, why white? So I said, listen, do something that's more known. So the next year, we did green. And they said, why aren't you doing white? We like the white better. The next year, we did red. We got killed with the red. But, so we went through 4 years of that stuff. Nobody does it better. And this year, it's just so good that they actually said the White House looks phenomenal when you add up all of the other things that we've done to it. You know, I tell people, for the first 4 years, I was the hunted. So I didn't have a lot of time to fix up the floors, to redo the Lincoln bathroom. I took a little heat. It was the worst job. It was done in many years ago. It was done during actually the Truman administration with very cheap green tile. That was in Lincoln. Now we have it done in beautiful, beautiful paradisial marble. It's all book matched and so beautiful. And people said, oh, why is he wasting time? That's not wasting time. That's saving our heritage. You know, many, many things like that. It's saving the heritage of this country. And it's so important. But I'm just going to leave you with the fact that this is a very brilliant and very important group of people that are in this room tonight. A lot of people wanted to be here, and the ballroom's very small, Marco. I mean, this is like, you know what this is? About 1/10. This is section A of what's being built. This is like a little corner, but it is beautiful. And I have to say this: Marco Rubio is a great Secretary of State. And I think he's going to go down as, you know, look, we've had some good ones. We've had some bad ones, too, real bad ones. We've had some real dummies and some real brilliant, great ones. I think Marco, if we keep going like this, he's going to go down as the greatest Secretary of State in the history of our country. So, Marco, thank you. Thank you very much. And I just want to thank everybody. It's a very special journey that we're on. It's a beautiful journey, and we're beautifying our country. We're strengthening our country. We're respected again as a country. We're so respected now, like never before. And whether it's Europe, Japan, I mean, every one of them, they have tremendous respect. They used to laugh at us not long ago. A year and a half ago, they were laughing at us, and they're not laughing anymore. They respect us like they've never done before. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. It's a great honor to have you. Thank you very much.